Hello my friends, it's Lori the Frugal Mom and welcome back to my channel. If you like frugal cooking tips, frugal recipes, food pantry blessings, frugal living advice, how to live an empowered, enriched life on a frugal budget, let's see what else. Being a mom, just dealing with life, then please feel free to hit that subscribe button. I sure would like to have you as part of our frugal community. Okay, so what we're going to make today, and yeah, I have on my icky apron. I'm hoping to get some patches and patch it because this is my icky one. I do have some pretty ones. What we're going to be making today is a beef vegetable lentil stew. It's going to be very hearty and very nutritious, and most of what I'm using I did get from the food pantry. So I'm going to turn you around and show you what we're going to be using. Okay, so I will link the recipe below in the description. The recipe does call for 2 pounds, however this was 1 pound and 1 ounce. I trimmed all the fat off of it, and we are going to make it stretch. And I got this from the food pantry. That's how much it was. So just that is a huge savings. And for me, I tend to be anemic, so I do need to eat beef at least a couple times a week, or just vegetables that are high in iron. If you remember a few weeks back, I preserved some celery that I got in abundance from the food bank. So this is about 2 cups. The recipe calls for 1. But it's not going to hurt to put a little bit extra in. It's cut extra fine, so that will be good. Then we're going to have 1.5 cups of lentils. The recipe does not call for mushrooms, but I like them. I got them from the food pantry. I don't have anything else to use them in. You can't freeze them, so it's going to give it a beefier flavor and make it more hearty. So why not just slice these up and throw them in there too. Now, these carrots I got from the food pantry, we're going to use 3 or 4 of them and slice them pretty thin. The onion I got from the food pantry, we're going to just chop that up roughly. I'm going to use a pinch of cayenne pepper. The recipe actually calls for, oh gosh, what is it called? Not ground thyme, but I guess the seeds. But I don't have any of that, so I'm going to substitute ground thyme. I'm going to use garlic powder because I always do. I'm going to use some minced garlic, which is right over here. Probably about 2 tablespoons. I'm also going to use some fresh cracked pepper to taste. And Parmesan, which I don't have it on the counter yet. Rosemary leaves, just probably like 1/4 teaspoon. And 2 bay leaves. And the recipe calls for 6 cups of beef broth. So this one I got from the food pantry. These I got at Grocery Outlet for 25 cents last week. So this is not quite 6 cups. So what I'll do for the shortage is I will add 1 cup of water with bouillon, with beef bouillon. It also calls for 1 cup of red wine. I don't have any on hand, so I'm just going to substitute that with the beef bouillon mixture as well. So basically, we're going to add 2 cups of beef bouillon broth to the 6 cups of beef broth. Oh, and last but not least, it asked for 28 ounces of crushed tomatoes, but all I have right now are these Italian peeled tomatoes. All you do is mash them either with a potato masher, or you can use your immersion blender, and it'll be the same thing. So the first thing I'm going to do, I have in my, sorry guys, enameled Dutch oven, and don't worry, that little browning is just stain. I have about 2-3 tablespoons of canola oil. As I explained, it's not in my budget right now to buy olive oil, so you use what you got, right? Just like I'm using the different tomatoes, just like I'm using broth in place of wine, just use whatever you got, right? So it'll taste the same. It's not going to affect the nutrients at all. People have been using canola oil for years, and it's only a little bit dispersed amongst, what, 8 cups? So it's going to be fine. So I have put some garlic powder, salt, pepper on my meat. I'm going to toss it around in the bowl, and then I'm going to brown it, and I'll show you that in a moment. Right, so there they are. They smell really good. And you see, if you cut your beef chunks in half, maybe even in quarters, you know, you'll make it stretch so each person will get a good amount in their bowl, and it'll still be nice and hearty. So we're gonna let those brown for a few minutes. We don't want to cook them too much because we don't want it to end up too tough. You could also coat these beef pieces in flour. I'm just gonna take the shortcut today. I'm sure it's gonna be delicious. Okay, so after I browned the beef for about 3 to 4 minutes, I added the chopped onion, I added the garlic, and I ended up with 2 heaping tablespoons of garlic. And now I'm just gonna let everything brown for probably about 5 minutes. Again, you don't wanna overcook the beef. So when we get to about this point, we're gonna turn the heat off because the onions are starting to get soft, right? The garlic it's starting to get very fragrant. And I'm gonna show you real quick, excuse my camera work. I did crush the tomatoes with my immersion blender, and they're just as crushed as they would be if I bought them that way. And now I'm going to prepare everything else that I need to throw in. Okay guys, so I have added the crushed tomatoes, the carrots, the bay leaf, all the seasonings, and the broth, and we're pretty much up to the top. But what's going to happen is those lentils, the lentils too, I added of course a cup and a half of rinsed and picked through lentils. I just rinsed them off and added them in. But as I was saying, the lentils are going to soak up a lot of the liquid. So we're going to cook this for about an hour and 20 minutes. And by then we should need to add some more liquid. So I'm going to put the lid on. I'm going to tilt it a little bit to vent it. And we'll come back in a little while and check. All right, you guys. So at this point, the stew/soup, it's more like a stew because it's so hearty. It has been simmering, like I said, for about an hour. It smells really good in here with all the spices and whatnot. I added my pinch of cayenne, just a pinch, don't want to make it too hot. I tasted it and I adjusted the salt a little bit. I just added a little bit of salt, and I added some sliced cremini mushrooms that I had on hand. Of course, you want to wash them first. They will impart an even beefier flavor and add some more nutrition to the dish. And a little trick that I found, and you can do this with ground turkey as well, to add a little bit of beefiness to things, is I added a teaspoon of, well, I can never say it right, Who's Your Sister sauce, the W sauce, you guys know what I mean. And that's not in the recipe, that's just my my little tip. So the lentils are almost to the point where we can eat them. They're almost soft enough. There's the bay leaf right there. I don't know if you guys can see it. So I am just going to let this cook for maybe another 20 minutes, and then we'll plate it up. Okay, you guys, the stew/soup, more of a stew like I said, it's done. The lentils are nice and soft. The seasoning is to our family's taste. Like I said, again, you adjust it to whatever your family likes. I'm going to serve this up, put a little bit of Parmesan cheese on it, and also serve it with some bread and butter, just simple bread and butter. We happen to have some potato rolls over, so my son's gonna have one of those, and I am gonna have a piece of low-carb bread. Okay, guys, it's the moment of truth. Say hi, Matt.
Hola.
He's gonna try the lentil stew. He just had a bite of the potato bread.
Got everything in it. Let me get a bit of mushroom. Bro. It's salty.
But not in a bad way.
Not in a bad way.
Savory.
Savory. Yes, savory.
Yeah.
I actually like it.
Okay. Well, what's your rating?
9.5 out of 8.5 out of 10.
Okay. But delicious nonetheless, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. There you have it. I've tasted it already. I really like it. I think it's a 9.5. It's not the absolute most best thing I ever made, but it really is delicious. It's very nutritious.
Did you put soy sauce in this?
Economical too. No, just a little bit of Who's Your Sister sauce.
Oh.
Yeah, to make it taste beefier. All right. So, what are we going to do, Matt?
Like, comment, follow, share.
And S.
Share.
Subscribe.
I said follow.
Well, yeah, you want to subscribe. So we are sending love to you from New Jersey. I'm going to taste it. Well, I already did taste it, and it is delicious. So we will be with you soon for another video. Have a good night, everybody. Bye.